I can build a Wendy house in my backyard and put mattresses here and there and say, okay, students, my place is not far from campus. I can use this Wendy house to accommodate students. And then some guy has got a purpose-built building that is for student accommodation. Why should that guy get the same amount of money per student as me, who's got a Wendy house in my backyard? So what NSFAS was trying to do here was to try and say, look, let us incentivize people with buildings that were built for the purposes of accommodating students, like hotels do. I can't expect to pay the same amount of money at Formula One that I would pay at the Hilton Hotel, as an example. So let's have a grading system to say, Formula One, your grade is this, Hilton, your grade is that. So there's a grading system that they then put together so that people who've got better looking buildings and who comply with their requirements, that are their minimum norms and standards, would then be able to enjoy. So the higher your grade, the more you get per student. So I'm not going to get into per se the amounts, but the amounts can differ from grade to grade by about 500 rands per student if you are a grade B compared to a grade A. So as an example, a single standard room in a metro, a single standard room would be about 4,286. And then if it's a grade B, it would be about just under 4,000 rands. So there is a difference in terms of the grading. However, you also need to take into cognizance the fact that the points, the number of points, is quite broad. So if you are a 70, you are a grade B, same as a person who has got a 61 points. However, the whole issue is always for you to try and get an improvement from one grade to another, because it makes a difference to the revenue that you're going to be making. The amount of money they will pay you per student will be higher, the higher your grade. Now, also, I just need to point out that this whole grading system started at the beginning of last year. And then NSFAS was also cognizant of the fact that some people who were providing accommodation, especially to TVET students, were not au fait with their processes, because TVET students were not included in this process. So they then gave those people a chance to say, okay, they will introduce a grade E point system. A grade E is the lowest grade where you get 20 points. Now, as from next year, they're getting rid of the grade E. So if you get less than 20 points or less, you won't be able to accommodate any students. But they gave people the grace period to say, go and improve your building so that at least you're sitting at a grade D. So those are the grades, the way they are, and they are there to incentivize you to get a better grade all the time. Okay, now moving into the accreditation process itself. The accreditation process has got these main pillars. So one of the things is property information. So what that looks for is that it's just general information. So do you have a caretaker? Let's get the details of your caretaker. There's also something there that is called a cover picture. So I normally say to people that cover